Why was this research on habit forming so revolutionary?
Ooh, habits have only been researched for like the last sort of decade plus, which is wild because up to 70% of what we do is habitual. The reason why it's so revolutionary is that our habits play a pivotal role in our life. Our habits tell a story of our life. They tell a story of who we are, what we value. It almost like aligns the decisions that we've made throughout the last few chapters of our years. And so the research around habits to have the empowerment to actually be able to change our habits is being able to change our entire life. Because if we can't change our subconscious behaviors, which makes up the majority of what we do, then we're not actually going to make any meaningful changes to our life. And I think that's why the power of habits is, if we can't change our habits, we can't make meaningful changes. I think that's why it's so revolutionary, because once we understand the theory and the practice of habits, we can apply it to any area of our life. If it's health, finances, relationships, it doesn't matter what it is. Everything is impacted by our habits. And I know I'm biased, but it's also true.
Was this the first I don't know I don't know the clinical term, blind study or whatever. You had the three groups. Was it the first study of its time on habits?
No, there were other studies, but not many. And what I did actually is one of my studies is I compiled all the studies that had been done in habits, like randomized control trials in this space. I was looking at weight management at the time, and I put them all together in a study, what's called a meta-analysis, which is essentially gathering all the research, like high quality evidence that's been done on a particular study, and then finding like the greater outcomes. And I think there were 4 other studies altogether.
What do you think, if you were to summarize everything down from the research and what we've spoken about today, what do you think would be the main takeaway that that's trying to build a new habit, they're wanting to hit their goals, apart from focusing on the 3 so it's not so overwhelming, which is, I was surprised about the 3's the max.
Yeah.
What do you think is the main takeaway that people should, take away from the Habit Revolution book, but also out of the conversation today?
Remember that you're not stuck with your brain, that you have the power to rewire your brain. Yeah, that you can create new habits, you can shake things up, you can break old habits, you can teach an old dog new tricks. Our brains are constantly rewiring, and we create stronger habits from the things we consistently do, and we break habits by stopping doing the things that we don't want to do. Our brain literally goes through something called synaptic pruning, where it's plucking out like the neural pathways that we're no longer using, so it falls away and becomes no longer part of our life. We shape our own reality. Like, there's a quote I love, and it says, "We are our own potters, because we make our habits and then our habits make us." And I think that is the most empowering thing that I can share with someone, is you're not stuck with your brain.